Do do do, theme song. Do do do, I'm broke so this is my theme song. Do do do, just imagine this is an awesome theme song. Do do, theme song. Hello, welcome to Left of the Box. Bonjour, bienvenue. I'm Sandy. I pride myself in my ability to find the words to best express what I'm trying to get across or express how I'm feeling. But all of you wonderful people, have left me unable to find the words to properly express my gratitude. I got my tax return and it was big. Well, big for me. I could stretch it out and for a short time not have to worry so much. I could buy that extra item at the grocery store or maybe get that thing that I've been in need of, but it costs just a little too much. For a short time, I could feel normal, have a break from the constant strain of never having enough. Then, all at once, my cat Tulip let me know it was her time to go. Then Frodo developed an issue with his eye, a possible infection. I called the vet, and the soonest they could see him was the next day, but later that night, my car broke down. I was freaking out. Frodo has been with me for over 10 years, and he has been one of the most loving creatures in my life. The thought of losing him now? I can't. Thankfully, I was able to borrow a friend's car to get Frodo to his appointment, and my car got repaired. And thankfully, Frodo's eye issue has cleared up. Giving eye drops to a cat? Not the funnest thing. Luckily, Frodo loves me, and through all of his squirming, he never once tried to hurt me. But all of this cost my entire tax return and then some. The relief I felt was stripped from me. It feels like every time I get something good, it's taken away. This is why a lot of people with mental health issues fear getting anything good or are suspicious of positive things. We often end up losing these things, and it's painful and it's hard not to feel defeated when it happens. I was hoping that by this time in my life, I would have a life. I'd be stable and have the money to cover these sudden expenses, to be able to function in society independent of relying on others to get by. Nobody wants to have a disability. Nobody chooses a life of poverty to be seen as nothing more than a burden to society. I vented this on Twitter and some people said they wanted to help. I was reluctant to accept because I feel like I shouldn't have to, that I should be in a better place by now, that this is my fault, even though I know it's not, and that I don't deserve any help because compared to some other people, having my life would be a dream come true. I'm aware of how lucky I've been in many areas, and it rips me up knowing so many people don't have what I have. So many people need help that they'll never get. Why should I get people's support instead of someone else? I guess it's kind of like a survivor's guilt. I'm still learning how to accept support when it's offered. So I went with it and put it out there how much I needed to cover the vet bills and car repairs. Sure, why not? Like, what were the chances people would care enough to follow through and help me? With everything that's going on in this world, it's easy to question your faith in humanity. But then there are moments. You all came through for me. In just a couple days, I recovered almost all of my expenses, so I've removed the links to my PayPal. Thank you so much to everyone who pitched in and to everyone who wanted to but due to their own financial strain couldn't. And Americans, just so you know, you thought you donated me a certain amount, but you actually donated me a fair bit more. The conversion rate works out in my favor. As a way of showing my thanks, I'd like to share a few things with you. Tulip's life. I adopted her in March 2020 from a cat rescue. People had noticed her around for years, but it wasn't until she started stealing food they realized she was unhoused. When they first got her, she was so severely matted, they had to sedate her to shave her down to her skin. When I saw her, I fell in love. I wasn't sure what to name her until I noticed her bottom lip, half black, half pink. So, yeah, Tulip, kind of like Two-Face. Frodo had lost his brother over a year before that, and he missed having a sibling. He tried so hard to be friends with her. I kept her in the bathroom the first few days to get her settled in and used to me. When I was in there with her, Frodo would sit right at the edge of the door, looking in at her like he was trying to ask, "Can we be friends? Can I come in and introduce myself? Do you want to be friends? Let's be friends." After she got full access to our home, Frodo would try to approach her, but she'd hiss at him. So he kept his distance, but he would try to get as close as possible and test those boundaries. Sometimes he would sit behind her, thinking he was just outside of her sight, but it was like she knew he was there and would purposely look the other way, pretending not to see him so she wouldn't have to react. Every spot she claimed as hers, he'd wait for her to leave, then go sit on it like he was trying to put his scent on it to get her used to him. And when they had a food dish that was shared, again, he would just keep his distance and let her finish eating before he went to the dish. Unfortunately, she never warmed up to him. She loved people, but not other cats. She would sit on my lap and paw at me to pet her, and if I didn't do it right away, she'd smack me. Tulip had quite the attitude, which made her all the more lovable. Tulip had health issues right from the start. When I first got her, the way her stomach looked and felt, I thought she was pregnant. Figured it must have happened right before the rescue got to her. Time passed and no kittens. I took her to the vet, and when he touched her stomach, even he thought she was pregnant and that they might have to do an emergency cesarean. But x-rays showed she was having a buildup of food in her stomach, which was stuck. So, medication and laxatives. Her fur grew in and she was beautiful. She was also very vocal. Sometimes she'd walk into my bedroom before the sun was up and just yell at me. All the times you hear cat meows in my videos, like when I use them to beep out words like fuck or it's all her. Tulip had a year of decent health, then she started losing weight. I took her back to the vet and they found she had hyperthyroidism and kidney issues. They started her on meds and her health took a dive. It was like the life was draining from her. This happened during a period of hell for me. I was being forced to move from my home, and now the vet was looking to book an appointment to put her to sleep. She didn't seem to be suffering, so I wanted to see if she would pass peacefully at home. I would have taken her in if that had changed. I stopped giving her the medications and her health bounced back. The pills were killing her faster than her disease. By the time of the move, she was back to her normal self. She handled the move like a boss. No problems adapting, and since Frodo was hiding in the bedroom for the first couple weeks, she figured she owned the place. Having her there for me during that time of stress helped me so much. You never rescue cats. They rescue you. Her health slowly declined. She was losing her sight and hearing. But so long as she could walk around, eat, go to the washroom, enjoy pets, and didn't seem to be in pain, I didn't feel right putting her to rest. She became a special needs cat, and I looked after her the best I could. She started losing weight again and had gone completely blind. Then one day she let out a cry like I hadn't heard from her before, and it was the first cry she had made in a long time. And I knew she was letting me know it was time for her to go. She didn't want to be held. She was having troubles getting around and her energy changed. So I made the appointment. She lived almost 2 years longer than they thought she would. I miss her so much. My place feels different without her here. She used to sit by my feet while I was working on my videos, and I'm still checking to make sure I don't kick her when I go to put my foot down. Frodo misses her even though he was never able to interact with her the way he wanted. But I have no doubt taking her in was the right thing to do. Another thing I want to share is that my website for my art is almost ready to go. There you'll be able to see my artwork, order prints, and order commission pencil portraits of pets and people. I'm hoping it will bring in a good income so I can look at getting Frodo as siblings soon, a cat with proven affection for other cats. With this off my plate and the potential for an income to help stabilize me, I'll be able to focus more on my videos. When you live with poverty, it feels like you're swinging through a jungle. But when it comes time to grab the next vine, you often have no idea if it will be there or if it will be strong enough to keep you going. The vine that is my tax return that I'm swinging on was cut before I could reach the vine that is my website. But all of you made sure I didn't fall. The last thing I want to share with you is a short poem I wrote a while back in memory of the first cat to touch my life. Yay! Poetry time. Let's do a poetry read on YouTube. This is like just just go with me on this. This poem is probably the best thing I've ever written, and I'm including all the scripts I wrote for my videos when I say this. But since I didn't know how to publish a single poem, it never got out there. I've put the poem on a photograph I took, and it will be available for purchase on my website. Before I read it, I want to warn you, if you love animals the same way I do, this poem will wreck you. Like, in a good way. It's like a good purging cry. Basically, there's a chance you'll become as much of a blithering mess as I have been through the process of writing this script and shooting this video. So listen to it when you have some time to yourself and you're in a comfortable place. Thank you, and much love to you all. The Souls of Animals. I was 11 when I first discovered love. It came to me in the form of 4 tiny paws. Did my family love me? Sure, but I never felt it. She needed a home. I needed the company. She needed me. I needed her more. Her marble eyes saw through to my pain. Her gentle licks cleaned my many wounds. Her caring ears listened to my tears. Her soft fur reminded me of touch. Her quiet sounds silenced all my fears. She loved me. I loved her more. She never cared that I was damaged and chose to bond with only me. Through her patience and persistence, even the biggest monsters shrunk before her. I finally understood love without pain or fear. Pure and unconditional it was. Her passing was the first loss I ever suffered. And it's okay now. I know she is always near. So when people debate the possibility of animals having souls, I just smile and nod. I know for a fact they do. Because she saved mine.